The Echoes of Willowdale. Chapter 1. The Empty Lot. The old town of Willowdale, with its weathered streets and whispering winds, held a familiarity I couldn't quite grasp until the day my world crumbled under the weight of grief. Returning after a decade away felt like stepping into an unfamiliar dream, a reality both hauntingly familiar yet utterly alien. It had been 10 long years since I'd left these parts, chasing dreams that never materialized and escaping nightmares born in this very place. My mother's passing brought me back. Her final days spent alone in the house we grew up in, surrounded by echoes of memories I'd long sought to forget. Upon settling into my new apartment above the old diner on Elm Street, a chill crept down my spine upon seeing the vacant lot next door, the same one where my childhood friends and I had spent countless summer nights playing tag under the star-filled sky. The place still held secrets, or so it seemed. Days blended together in a haze of funeral arrangements, settling the estate and adjusting to small town life. Nights were restless, haunted by the creaks of the old building and my racing thoughts. It wasn't until I drifted off to sleep one evening that I first heard them, the whispers. At first, they were indistinct, a murmur of voices carried on the wind, like hushed conversations in the darkness. As weeks went by, the sounds intensified, a symphony of muffled voices and unsteady footsteps weaving through the night. The lot next door was always vacant, a constant reminder of my childhood. How could there be someone down there now? I dismissed these strange occurrences as residual energy from years past, but those whispers kept me awake, gnawing at the fringes of my sanity. One morning, during my first shift at the diner, I stumbled upon a peculiar graffiti scrawled across the pavement. A single phrase, "They're watching." It sent a shiver through me. Whispers turned to murmurs, and shadows seemed to flicker at the periphery of my vision when walking home under moonlight. Mr. Jenkins, an elderly man who lived across the street in a house veiled by overgrown foliage, often appeared in my window. His eyes would linger on me as I passed his property with an unnerving intensity, a fixation that made my skin crawl. Shadows danced behind him like dark specters, but he'd never leave his porch. The sensation of being watched intensified, making it difficult to shake the feeling that something was lurking just out of sight, a tangible presence skirting the edges of perception. The diner's regulars offered their condolences and tales of Willowdale's history. They spoke of the lot, a place shrouded in legend. Some claimed it was haunted. Others whispered of sinister events from decades past, the hospital for troubled youth that once stood there. As I delved deeper, I discovered the unsettling truth: patient escapes and mysterious deaths amidst the surrounding woods. Yet, these stories were old news, relics of a bygone era. Surely, I couldn't shake the notion that my return was not coincidence, but perhaps an invitation into the heart of Willowdale's darkness, perhaps into the very lot's eerie allure. One night, a chilling figure emerged from the corner of my eye, a shadow darting along the hallways before vanishing. The whispers escalated into unmistakable voices, words that seemed to be calling out my name, Sarah, sending an icy dread through me. My mind raced. Hallucinations born of sorrow or something more? It was then I discovered Mr. Jenkins leaving objects at my doorstep, a book on witchcraft and a photograph from my childhood, unsettling gestures from the reclusive neighbor. The line between paranoia and reality blurred, threatening to engulf me. Emily, my best friend since college days, offered her support over coffee. "What's going on?" she asked. Concern creased across her face as I recounted these bizarre events. Her voice was a lifeline in this maelstrom. It's the old lot, she suggested with an uneasy laugh. Nothing more than residual energy from all those years ago. In the stillness of that evening, as shadows lengthened across my floorboards, I swore they were eyes watching me. Mr. Jenkins, Emily's reassurance fading to silence. Chapter 2. The Shifting Space. Each day revealed a new mystery. My apartment seemed to shift, walls shifting slightly, like a living entity molding itself around me. The first night it happened was when I still had my suitcase by the door. Come morning, it rested on the opposite side of the room. Personal belongings found themselves rearranged, clothes strewn across the floor or hidden away in drawers. It wasn't just the apartment. Nights became a battle to sleep as whispers transitioned from voices, now echoing within my mind, a constant chant that seeped into my dreams. Shadows darted at the edge of perception, a black shape moving furtively along the hallways when I woke and before dawn. Mr. Jenkins' fixation grew more pronounced, eyes glued upon me whenever he crossed our paths. His aged hands would hold a newspaper or a cup, but his gaze held an unsettling intensity. The local diner served as both sanctuary and confidant, where tales of Willowdale's troubled history spilled from patrons like blood, the curdling stories around a campfire. I learned of the hospital's dark past, the patients who fled, never to be seen again, meeting untimely ends in those woods. Emily listened with growing concern, yet remained skeptical, too busy for the supernatural and more concerned about her impending move to Chicago. Night after night, whispers intensified, shadows danced across my walls as I lay awake, a macabre ballet. One evening, while walking home under a moonless sky, I felt an icy presence brush against me, sending shivers down my spine. The following morning, I woke to find photographs scattered on the floor, pictures from my childhood, some taken decades ago, others more recent. Snapshots of life, events both joyous and painful. My gaze settled upon one, the last photo before leaving Willowdale all those years back. A child's birthday cake, an unblinking stare reflecting a mirror image of myself as I blew out candles. It had been my father's birthday party. The photograph felt colder than stone, impossible to hold. The hospital connection solidified in my mind. A twisted message from the lot itself, or Mr. Jenkins' morbid curiosity. Both were improbable, yet each night, more images appeared. Me at 16, with a boyfriend I'd long forgotten. In school clothes during a sunny day, and later as a young woman, smiling into an unseeing lens. It was then I realized the lot wasn't just watching, but recalling my life. One fateful evening, the door creaked open on its own. A figure stood by my bed, Mr. Jenkins, his eyes ancient behind thick lenses. "You see them," he muttered before retreating into darkness as quickly as he'd appeared. Sleep was elusive. Images flooded my dreams. The lot's malevolent spirit interweaving with fragments of my youth. A birthday party turned macabre, a lover embracing me in the moonlight. Then my face contorted in fear as he pulled away. It wasn't just memories. It was an excavation into every life event. The hospital's legacy had awakened something long dormant. Emily insisted on investigating. I suspected her involvement would only lead to madness. As if sensing it all, Mr. Jenkins left a new addition. The same birthday cake from the photographs. A child's voice in my ear, whispering Sarah when I awoke. My mind reeled. Was he leading me deeper into Willowdale's lore, or had the lot truly come alive? I'd never believed these stories, but couldn't dismiss it anymore. Something dark stirred and fed upon my memories. Emily urged me to leave town, yet something beckoned me closer. Chapter 3. The Silent Observer. The hospital's tales melded with my dreams. A patient who escaped, tormented by unseen voices in the night. I recognized his eyes as my lover's, the one from that dream. His face contorted in a silent scream. They're watching. The graffiti echoed through my head as I awoke to find a series of Polaroids on my dresser. Each depicted moments from the lot, each with an unblinking stare. A child, a birthday party, then death's shadowy silhouettes. It was not just memories. It was the lot's presence, watching me. As the photographs mounted, so did the frequency and ferocity of these intrusions. The hospital's legacy bleeding into my waking life. A black figure stalked my dreams, a child, an adult, a lover embracing then screaming in terror. The boy from those woods. In the stillness, I'd find Mr. Jenkins on my doorstep, eyes alight with an unsettling fervor, holding out a book of spells. For protection, he rasped before scurrying back into his abode, a witchcraft tome adorned with symbols and strange incantations. Whispers became distinct phrases. My name, entreaties to come closer. The lot's call now unmistakable. Emily pleaded I leave Willowdale. Instead, I ventured into the woods. Emaciated trees bore witness as I stepped out of the fading light, and darkness began to swirl around me. The hospital's walls whispered through the wind, a haunting melody that ushered me deeper, a dance between death and life. Memories merged with nightmares. Happier times. The birthday cake, a boy's first kiss under the oak, my mother's final embrace before leaving Willowdale. Whispers coalesced into an ethereal voice, a cacophony of my past. The lot recalling moments I'd forgotten or never lived. The lover, his face contorted in terror, appeared, eyes black as coal amidst moonlight, a silhouette that spoke of me before fleeing, forever lost within the woods. The darkness deepened with each step, but then came silence. I heard only the wind. A rustling followed, the sound of leaves, a child's laughter, and finally, a single word, Sarah. It was then I felt hands on my back, a chill that didn't belong to autumn's mist or the night. My lover from childhood's dreams stood behind me, a smile twisted in fear, tongue lolling as eyes turned black, an otherworldly whisper seared into memory. They're waiting for you. I whirled to face him. The boy's body contorted in pain and was pulled through the trees. Leaves crunched, and I stumbled upon a hidden clearing, a child crouched by an oak, an unblinking stare. My childhood self before me. The lot watched from behind the boy, faces blurred, eyes black as coal. My mother, her goodbye. Sarah. It rasped once more in the darkness. Shadows coalesced into forms. The girl I'd never known. A silent scream tearing at my heart. In that moment, amidst the wood's silence, a book fell from above, a witch's tome with spells and incantations. Words I spoke aloud, whispers turning to gasps as the lot embraced me. A new face emerged. It was the lover, the oak shuddering beneath an unseen weight. Come closer. His eyes echoed in the heart of the darkness. Each image from those photographs playing out in a final embrace before they fled into the trees, leaving me alone with the tome. My life laid bare, a silent plea to be claimed.